For many writers, one of the hardest parts about writing is getting ideas to make sense as they leave their brains and enter the page. Having some organizational tools can make this process easier, and that's what we're talking about today. In this video, you'll learn about outlines. If the word outlines makes you groan, hear me out, because here's a little secret: I've always hated writing outlines myself. I promise this video is about finding tools to help you, not adding something else to your to-do list. Let's get started. Often, when you hear the word organization, you probably think of making things neater. In fact, there's an entire industry built up around selling us organizational tools like desk organizers and plastic bins to help us sort and store our stuff. At first glance, it might seem like organizing your writing is not much like organizing your things, but they actually have quite a bit in common. Getting organized in your items or in your mind requires finding some common categories, putting like things together, and deciding where they're all going to go. When you have an organized desk, you probably have all of your pens and pencils together in a cup, all of your papers stacked neatly together, and all of your books arranged in some sort of order. But what does it mean to have an organized paper? An organized paper has these elements. First, an introduction that lets the reader know where they're going. Then, at the end, a conclusion that wraps everything up. Along the way, they'll have transitions between paragraphs and between sentences, and those paragraphs will be focused and arranged in a logical order. If you have all of those things, then you can rightfully call your paper organized. I'm going to ask a question that's probably going to sound silly to you, but it's really the key to understanding organization in writing. Here it is. What is a paragraph? Don't laugh at me. I know. You know what a paragraph is. But let's think about it for a moment. How long is a paragraph? How do you know when to stop writing one? How many paragraphs should your paper have? Chances are that you have some ideas in mind about how to answer those questions, and those ideas might not actually be true. Sometimes people get into trouble in their organization because they're trying to cram too much into a paragraph, or because they think their paragraph can only have a certain number of sentences, so they break it up when they shouldn't. Here's the definition I want you to think of when you hear the term paragraph: a collection of sentences about a single topic that are anchored by a topic sentence. We'll talk more about a topic sentence in a moment, but for right now, let's just think about that first part. A paragraph is a collection of sentences about a single topic. There is no set number of sentences. One sentence can be a paragraph, 20 sentences can be a paragraph. Usually, paragraphs are about 5 to 8 sentences long, but that's not a rule. If every paragraph in your paper is only 2 sentences long, you're probably not giving it enough detail. If every paragraph in your paper is 20 sentences long, you're probably getting too detailed and need some subtopics to break it up. But there is no set rule about the length of your paragraphs. Okay, let's get back to topic sentences. Just like a thesis statement anchors your whole paper, a topic sentence anchors your paragraph. It's a single sentence that gives an overview of what the paragraph is about. It is usually either the first sentence of the paragraph or the last sentence of the paragraph, but it could be anywhere. It's the one that you could go and underline if someone said, "So what's this paragraph about?" It's also the one you can use to test and see which sentences belong or don't belong. If they don't match the topic sentence, they belong somewhere else, another paragraph, or maybe an entirely different paper. All right, I know I said this video was about outlines, but everything I just said is important to being able to really use an outline well. Now that you've thought about what it means to have an organized paper, remember, having an introduction, a conclusion, transitions, and paragraphs with topic sentences. Now that you know that, it's time to talk about outlines. Outlines can be a tricky thing for some people. I was one of them. I used to hate getting assigned an outline when I was in middle and high school. How was I supposed to know what would be in a paper I hadn't written yet? I would always cheat and write my whole paper early, make an outline from that paper, turn the outline in, and then just wait and turn the paper in later. I wasn't actually using the outline, and it felt like such a waste of time to me. However, as I got into college and started writing longer and more complicated papers, I realized that I couldn't always get all of my ideas in order in my head. Sometimes I needed an outline to help me, but an outline doesn't have to look any particular way. It doesn't have to have Roman numerals or be written with a certain number of points. An outline isn't an assignment of its own. It's not for your teacher, it's for you. And there are only 2 things an outline needs to be helpful for you as an organizational tool: coordination and subordination. Coordination means balance. You've probably heard the word when you're talking about someone who can dance really well, or for riding a bike. We say that those people are coordinated. When you use coordination in your outline, you're making sure that you have a balance of elements. If you're writing about 5 ways to make potatoes, you want to make sure that each method has roughly the same amount of details. You don't want to give a single sentence on French fries and 15 sentences on mashed potatoes. That's not balanced. A coordinated outline helps you make sure you're balancing out your ideas. Subordination means categories that fit within one another. You can tell which idea is a subcategory of another. We normally hear the word subordination when we're talking about somebody being the boss of someone else. In this case, just think of the categories as kind of the boss that manages all of the subcategories beneath them. When you put them together, coordination and subordination help you see what ideas you have and how you'll make them work together to create an organized paper. Take a look at this example. You can see coordination because there is a balance between the ideas. Each item has 3 or 4 supporting points that are of roughly equal importance. These are the coordinated ideas. Those supporting points are subordinated underneath main topics. When you look at this outline, you can see paragraphs taking shape. So far, we've got 3 paragraphs figured out: the introduction, a body paragraph about fried potatoes, a body paragraph about mashed potatoes. They'll be roughly, but not exactly, the same length because they have coordination between their supporting details, and will have clear paragraph breaks because their details are subordinated into categories. So the next time you hear the word outline, I want you to think about what it really means. Determining what your main topics are and putting them in order so you can see what you have. It doesn't have to be perfect, and it's okay if you end up adding or deleting things when you write the actual paper. It's a plan, not a promise. It's designed to help you stay on track and figure out how to divide up your ideas into separate paragraphs that have balanced support. You probably won't need an outline for every assignment you write, but it's good to know how to use one when you do need it.